Hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is Daniel here, and we are working on the 28th video here for the video series that corresponds to the book Road of Happy Destiny. And I'm going to talk to you about the book of James today, because James was Jesus' brother, and James is awesome, as are most of the authors of the scriptures, of course. Not most, all of them are pretty awesome. Paul used to not be so awesome, but he got cool after a minute. Okay. Well, one of the things it says in James is to count various trials as joy. And that's almost kind of funny because I just got out of court and I lost. So it kind of speaks to the moment, right? I was just reading some scripture, sitting in a drive-thru, and I came across James. Okay, and it's talking about how we are supposed to count it joy when we encounter various trials. And I want to talk about why. The reason why is kind of simple, but it's a little bit profound. The reason why it's so important to count challenges and trials and tribulations as joy is because God uses all things for the good of those that love Him and are called according to His purpose, which is all of us. God uses the good, the bad, the ugly, the indifferent. He uses all things for the good of those that love Him. So the fact that I just lost my small claims action that was filed against me, despite the fact that I'm quite sure was in the right, is nonetheless a good thing, because God is ultimately going to use that situation for the good in one way or another. I don't know exactly how He's going to do that. Maybe it helps my credit score in the long run. I don't know. It gave me more experience in the courtroom. It reminded me of the fact that those that are placed in authority over us are placed there for a reason. So, small detour. If you got something negative to say about the commander-in-chief of this country, shut up. He was put there by God. Whether he's there to just fulfill prophecy or whether he's there to just upset you, whatever it is, he was put there for a reason. Police officers, same thing. Most of them, I believe, signed up to help people, first of all, and they were allowed to be in that position because God put them there. Now, if they decide to abuse that power and go and become evil and all that mess, that's between them and God, and unfortunately those that have to deal with the mess of that. But nonetheless, they were placed there in authority over the other people that are under their authority for a purpose, because usually they're of the character that earned it. So again, when it comes to bashing the president or whoever's in office or whatever because you don't like their policy or you don't like whatever the other guy is saying about them, which is probably wrong anyway, let it go. Okay, that's my soapbox. Back on the point. Okay. So I lost my trial. But I count it joy because God's going to use it for good one way or the other, and I just outlined some of the reasons why it was a good thing. I was reminded that the judge is, in a lot of ways, holy. That God put that judge in that position for a reason. I disagreed with her decision. But for whatever reason, her opinion was what it was, and God judged in that moment that I need to go ahead and take care of and just eat that debt and deal with it. And as a person, I'm going to grow because of that. I say all the previous to say this. God is developing us into the character of Christ, and sometimes it's uncomfortable. You remember being a child, maybe? Growing pains hurt. If you're not eating enough food and you're growing, you hurt a lot more. My daughter struggles with that a lot. She doesn't like to eat as much as somebody growing would normally be hungry for, and she feels a lot of growing pains because of that. We're working on it. Anyways. When I go through things that are difficult in my life, God uses those to grow my character. He first of all tests my faith by those challenges. And a lot of the times I pass the test and my character grows as a result of that. So I'm being developed into the character of Christ. Maybe not so much in personality, but in virtue. My faith is being tested, and I'm trying to pass those tests. And I've been through a lot of stuff. A lot of us have. I've been through a lot. Maybe not as much as some, but enough to have a really hard time justifying most of it, because it was agony in a lot of ways, and heartbreak, and heartache, and just struggle and tribulation and trials and pain for a long time in a lot of ways. And a lot of it was self-inflicted, but a very lot of it was not. Nonetheless, my character developed. I became stronger. I became more resilient. I became more patient. I became more capable of loving. I learned how to love those that would not be able to accept it and those that were unlovable. I loved them anyway, and I learned how to, through all of that, have more appreciation for myself, which is weird because the concept of self-love to me is a foreign concept. I don't know what that looks like. I didn't experience it much. I've learned more about what that feels like and what it looks like through being a father to being a dad for my daughter. She needs me in her life. It's weird to me to be needed at that kind of a level. But she appreciates who I am. I bring joy into her life. I bring education and discipline and a sense of structure and purpose and responsibility and fun into her life, and she appreciates it, and that's beautiful to me. To be appreciated is a very cherishable thing for me. Self-forgiveness is something I've struggled with a lot too, because I've done some unfortunate things, and also I believe that there's only one person in authority in existence that has the authority to forgive me of my sins, and I'm not him. Jesus is. But for me to forgive myself, maybe not so much that, but to let some of it go and stop mulling it over in my mind over and over, the mistakes I've made. Stop letting the devil put that crap in my mind to remind me of my past, because I'll remind him of his future, and he doesn't like that much, so he can back the heck off. Anyways, yeah, we go through some stuff. So the only thing that justifies all the things I've been through in my life is being able to connect with somebody on this level. To say, hey, I do know what it's like to lose a child. I do know what it's like to lose freedom. I do know what it's like to lose a spouse. I do know what it's like to lose my dreams and aspirations and goals and careers and all this stuff. But I also know what it's like to gain a whole lot. I gained salvation. That's paramount and primary. I've gained education and experience and joy and the experience of going to rock bottom and digging deeper, finding bedrock and going farther, coming back out of that thing having been content in that low place where everything above it was a blessing and is a blessing. Check this out. Oreo McFlurry, McDonald's. It's a plug for them. I guess it's going to be a commercial for them. Apparently they just got free publicity. We'll see how many views this one gets. But hey, I just won the lottery with that McFlurry because I am used to living a life where that is a luxury that I don't qualify for. So, the stuff we go through, it's worth it. In the end, it's all worth it. And the blessing above blessings in this moment for me is to realize that the end is not quite here, and there's a whole lot of right now that makes it all still worth it. Being able to be in a position and a platform to speak, the fact that we're in this day and age where there's a platform for anybody that has a voice, that wants to use it and has the courage to put themselves out there for it. I'm talking to the world right now. I don't know how many people are going to see this video, but before I die, or before the internet blows up or whatever happens to it, I doubt that'll ever happen, but whatever. I have no idea how many people this is going to affect, but if it affected you, please subscribe or make a comment, share the video. If this was helpful to you in any way, please do that. It honors me, it honors God, and it helps me feel a little bit more affirmed that I have a message and I have a voice and it matters. I'm not so self-conscious and insecure to need that, but it feels so good to know that God is using me as an oracle and so in a way to speak the things of His Word to people that would listen. So thank you for listening. And what I'd like to do in these moments, when I come to the end of a video, and I do it sincerely every single time, with as much authenticity as there is in my being, I genuinely in this moment say and pray honestly that God continually and abundantly bless you, even beyond what you already deserve, that He brings redemption and restoration into your life, that He gives you peace, that His face shines upon you, much like the sun is on me right now. I want that for you. I want the glory of God to shine upon you and His forgiveness to just permeate your life. And just that you would enjoy the rest of this day, this evening, the rest of this week. Come back to this video again if you need to. Just remember, if you're going through it, you're going to get through it. Because if you don't go through it, you won't get through it, right? All right, so again, thank you so much for watching. God bless you abundantly, and take care. Bye-bye.